Tablet Girl 66. Today we're going to be talking about literary theory, in particular post-colonial theory. So, literary theory is in its most basic principle, as I have previously stated. A theory, the idea that you look at literature through various types of lenses. Post-colonial theory is what happens after certain people are being colonized. And what they look at primarily in post-colonial literature is how a text portrays or looks at the colonized people, and how they are mistreated or being undermined by the dominating culture. And its idea is that the point of view of the written word, or the power that the written word has, is so grand and so significant that it changes and shapes our point of view. In other words, when you look at post-colonial literature, what you're looking for is elements or ideas that portray the dominant culture. The dominant culture is usually, in most cases, a culture that is capable of reading, writing, and have perhaps a more advanced warfare or more advanced technology in a certain extent. And part of what their power lays in is their ability to use the written word and their ability to portray a situation in whatever means they want to. And usually the colonized people have less access to the printing press or to all of those things which grant the colonizers power. So pretty much the colonized culture is at an extreme disadvantage in terms of being able to access media outlets to give them a voice. This was the case for the Welsh, this was the case for the Irish when the British Empire expanded. This was also the case for the British after the Roman Empire went and this was also the case for the Native Americans. This was the case for every culture that was undermined. It was the case for the African Americans. It was the case for humongous amounts of people. One could even assume that, for instance, Philippine literature is a portrait of is largely undermined or disregarded. Of course, this has changed over the recent years. For instance, often for particular grand awards, people of different countries will be chosen because they were prior to that not regarded, and so the people want to be nice and be like, we should include these people. So anyway, post-colonial literature also has to take into consideration one particular point, that it's not only the colonized people that are being influenced. Many times the colonized people will also influence the colonizing culture, the people that are colonizing them. Because, for instance, the Roman Empire, when it was expanding, took on the myths and the legends of many of the people that it conquered. Nothing is very much pure or singular. So what ended up happening is they adapted all of these myths, all of these gods. They were just like, ooh, another god, we'll take him. So what happened was that all of these cultures began to blend the pagan ideas, all of these ideas. They became collaborated and intertwined. And nothing became very much singular. And that's part of what post-colonial literature looks at as well. The fact that the colonized people can't change the fact that they've been colonized. They can't change the influence that gigantic period of time during which they were colonized has had on them, because it might have influenced them or affected them in many, many negative ways, and they might want to revolt and take up against the people that are colonizing them. But even in that case, the ideas that they were given through this experience can't be taken away from them, and they've become now part of this new culture that they're developing. Their culture is continuously changing. It doesn't stay the same. So after being colonized, they might have to take up means such as literature, or such as new weapons, such as all of these things that are actually, in most cases, the creation of the colonizer, not of the colonized. So not all of the influence that the colonizers give to the people that are being colonized are necessarily negative. And not all of them are necessarily positive, and in most cases the majority of them are negative. But what has to be taken into consideration is that now the culture has to find a new identity and has to accept that they've changed, and they might want to reclaim the past or reclaim who they were, but they also have to begin to accept all of the things that happened to them and how it has changed them. So that's talking about post-colonial theory. Sorry, that was awkward. See you soon. Bye.